Keith Merker from WeedMD is with me on the line. Keith, good morning. Good to speak to you again.
Good morning. It's good to speak to you as well.
Keith, a busy week for you. Most recently entering into this letter of intent with Tokyo Smoke Brand Co. to license Vanderpop. Sounds significant. Tell me more.
Yes, sir. It's a very exciting time for WeedMD, and we've all been working very hard on a number of fronts over here, as usual. This is sort of it's a very significant piece for us because it's our first foray into the branding exercise outside of what we've built around the WeedMD brand, of course, which is very important to us. But this is an interesting deal. We at WeedMD have always felt that there is a very significant market out there that is currently being ignored by not only the other licensed producers here in Canada, but significantly across the globe, I think, and that is the female market. Now, there are a couple of brands out there that have been that have sort of come to the fore, but we were searching actively for something to do in this space, which we think, of course, is 50% of the population, and again, the feeling is that it's very underserved currently within the cannabis community and the cannabis industry. And as we searched, we had stumbled upon this fantastic brand based out of Seattle called Vanderpop, which was founded by a woman named April Pride out of Seattle. And we just fell in love with the brand itself. We fell in love with everything it stood for, all the pieces that they put together to create a very compelling story. And that, of course, is what branding is all about. And, of course, that led us back to Toronto, funnily enough, which is where this brand had been aligned itself with a group called Tokyo Smoke, which is a very significant cannabis lifestyle brand here based out of Toronto, Ontario. And, between all that, we managed to get our foot in the door and create a relationship with these groups. And of course, we announced this letter of intent this morning to work together in a partnership to develop the brand. Obviously, we bring the growing capacity to the whole picture, and develop this first of all, of course, for the for the medical market here in Canada, and ultimately, of course, for the impending recreational market, which is just over a year away here in Canada. So we feel that this is a very compelling offering from WeedMD in alignment with Tokyo Smoke, and of course, Vanderpop being the linchpin of the whole thing. And it's going to really put us on the map with respect to making moves in branding and making moves in partnerships and of course in a critical marketplace, that being the women's market, which we feel is very underserved currently.
Putting you on the map, as you say, it's a letter of intent, of course. When do you hope this agreement will be firmed up?
Oh, shortly. So we are already working on definitive agreements and so on and so forth. So, it's not a terribly complex deal, and we're all pulling in the same direction. So we anticipate getting something signed up, hopefully early summer at the latest, i.e., sometime over the next month or month and a half.
And then start delivering your cannabis under this brand later on this year.
Correct. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of time to develop the proper strains that will be associated with this brand. We are already working towards that goal as well. So other than definitives, obviously, we've got to get the business pieces to fall into place, the production pieces, and all the rest of that good stuff, including, obviously, labeling and packaging and all that. So we're all working diligently towards that, and very much look forward to bringing this one out of the gates and having a successful launch and very successful partnership.
Very good, Keith. We look forward to that. Look, just while I've got you, a few bits of other news we need to touch on. I know you've officially begun registering patients now for your online medical cannabis store.
Correct. Yes, that was very exciting for us. I think last time we chatted, we had only just received our license to sell, which of course is it's a long and arduous process with the regulators up here in Canada. But of course, we were successful, and we initially opened the gates just a crack, and we started registering patients through friends and family. And the goal was not to have a ticker tape parade and bring on 1,000 patients in week one. The goal was to make sure that we're doing everything efficiently, effectively, and that all our systems and processes were running according to plan, because there are a lot of moving parts here. So, of course, that was we had a couple of weeks. We ironed out any wrinkles that were there, and then shortly thereafter, we opened up the door to patients at large, and we've been diligently registering patients and shipping products from our facility here in Elmer, Ontario, for the past few weeks, and everything is going swimmingly. I can happily report, and so we look forward to reporting some revenues, and of course, that's what business is all about, and it's been a long journey for us to get here. So very exciting for us now to start serving patients, and we've had lots of very happy testimonials as to the folks who've received and used the medical cannabis that we're producing here in Elmer.
Glad to hear it. Just remind us, how big's the market? How many medical patients are there in Canada?
Well, the last report from Health Canada, which just came out a couple days ago, reported that it was about just under 170,000 patients here in Canada as of March 31st. So it continues to increase at roughly a 10% month-over-month rate, which is fantastic. So it is increasing exponentially over time. And, if you extrapolate today, we're probably not far off a couple 100,000 patients registered in the program. This is fantastic news. Obviously, there's a lot of interest. There is a lot, the public perception. I mean, one of the things that shocked me more than anything else in this industry is how quickly public perception has changed with respect to cannabis overall. When I first got into this industry back in 2014, it was one of those things where you could only discuss. I like to give the anecdote of you can only discuss it after dinner when the kids were asleep in hushed tones when you were talking about what you did for a living. And of course, you fast forward to today, and it's very much a different situation where the same people who you were talking in whispers about this thing to are all clamoring to invest in the industry and not only invest, but those with aches and pains and insomnia and other issues are obviously looking to get prescriptions. It's fantastic. It's been terribly exciting to be a part of, and looking forward to seeing that 170,000 currently go to 500,000 and beyond in the medical market. And of course, there is that recreational market here in Canada to look forward to as well.
Keith, busy times for you. Glad everything's going well. Good to speak to you, and no doubt we'll be catching up again soon.
Look forward to it. Thanks for your time.